This one time at band camp, What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. A film that just hit Netflix yesterday, not a Netflix original movie, but another American Pie film. It's been a long time. This is American Pie Presents Girls Rules. We're going to talk about it today. I need your comments down below. This is a spoiler-free review, and if you like these reviews, stay tuned. Many more Netflix reviews to come, and let's do it. Senior year at East Great Falls, Annie, Kayla, Michelle, and Stephanie decide to harness their girl power and band together to get what they want their last year of high school. Let me start here. I am a massive fan of the original, the OG American Pie film, and there have been countless sequels, some of them which have genuinely worked for me, others not the biggest fans of. It all comes down to how much they capture the spirit of the original and how interesting the story itself is. And I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't opposed to this idea. A new, fresh spin on American Pie, as long as it's funny. Give me something that feels like book smart, that harkened back to Superbad, a hilarious coming-of-age story. This time we have 4 girls at the focus. Make it funny, make it interesting, give me a good plot. I didn't get a lot of that with this movie. Here's the main problem. It doesn't feel like American Pie. Now, if you've never seen an American Pie movie, and I am sure there are countless people on Netflix that have never seen an American Pie film, and you expect it to be a more R-rated, hard R-rated, raunchy version of a Netflix rom-com that we've seen countless times, think all of the Noah Centineo movies. If you expect that, you're probably going to like this film because we have all of that. We have the romance, we have the comedy, we have all of the cliches. We have these four storylines dealing with the romance and the fallout of these 4 girls, how they're all kind of falling for this one guy. Who is he going to choose? All of that fun stuff. But what made American Pie so special was the far more interesting storyline, in my opinion, and the humor. And the humor is just not captured here. American Pie is over the top for sure, but this movie's version of over the top doesn't feel like it fits with the movie that they're trying to give us. Doesn't feel realistic, and I know it's not trying to be realistic, but at a point, if the movie's not funny, I'm going to start focusing on other things. I'm going to start criticizing the film itself a bit more, because the beautiful thing about a comedy is if I'm laughing, if there are clear things happening on screen that don't make sense, I don't care all that much. And since I didn't find this movie that funny, talking the gags, the sense of humor, and the fact that the jokes just didn't really land, I started focusing on other things that did not work. And there are so many moments with these 4 girls, played by Madison Pettis, Lizzie Broadway, Natasha Benham, and Piper Curta, recognizable faces and names. Listen, the game plan, Madison Pettis, like, that's a cute movie, right? And then you see her in this, it's like, oh, this is not the Madison Pettis that we remember. But she's not horrible. It's less so her performance here, and more so the fact that her character storyline is just not as interesting as they want it to be. There are characters that get in arguments in front of everyone. You know when they make a scene in these kinds of movies? Well, there are like 5 or 6 scenes where they're making a scene, and everyone's looking at 2 people in an argument, fighting with each other, yelling, screaming, my boyfriend cheated on me, you know, that kind of thing. But everyone in the background of this movie always turns their heads to focus on the 2 people, the main 2 characters of the movie, talking to each other in an argument, this or that. And then they'll just go back to their regular conversation like nothing happened. You know, like in a video game. Let's say you're a superhero, right? You're just running down the street, flipping cars and jumping over things, and no one seems to be paying attention because they're background video game characters. Other than our main crew here, that's what everyone felt like. They didn't have a presence. They didn't feel real. It all felt like the stage is set for the focus to be on our main characters, and at that point, you have to deliver on the jokes. But instead, they're giving us not so fun one-liners, really cringy dialogue. The movie starts off and there's this big party. OMG, we're in high school. We're going to get so wild. It's even got the cliche like, East Great Falls, bro. And the guy's walking with a stereo on his shoulder. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Is this the 90s? Now, before I go any further with my criticisms, I will say the movie gets better. It doesn't necessarily get too good, but it was sweet towards the end. And As much as they try to mess it up with the writing and the bad dialogue, you do care because these actresses are genuinely charming. I like our four girls quite a bit here, but there's just not much they can do with what they're given. Kids don't talk to each other like this. They just don't. And I love how the original American Pie handled these awkward scenes between kids and their parents, right? That humor landed, and it's probably the actors, to be honest with you. But they had those scenes. I mean, one of the first scenes in the movie is some parents walking in on some kids doing some stuff, not a spoiler, but that scene just didn't feel real. It doesn't feel real, and I know it's not trying to feel real, but again, if you're not laughing, what am I supposed to do? And I got some chemistry between these four girls, and then they're away from each other, no joke, for the next 45 minutes, where there's no opportunity to develop them further as friends, as they're doing their own things that aren't as interesting as when they're together, and it's all surrounding this boy. But even with this boy, it's so obvious where the story's going to go. So obvious. And Darren Barnett, he's charming. There is some charm in this film. But when people are running into locker doors and kids are getting hit by cars and it's all for the joke and it's not landing, things don't make sense. There's a scene where one of the girl's boyfriends confronts this guy because he's been talking to his girlfriend, and he immediately knows exactly who he's trying to talk to, even though he's never seen a picture of this guy. There are 50 plus people at this party, and he just walks right up to this guy and says, "Hey, are you the guy?" It's like, how did you know? There's so many other people here. And my final point, why go with the name American Pie when it doesn't feel anything like American Pie other than the name Stifler, who's there, the awkward encounters with adults, and the plethora of pie scenes, and of course the sex. Can't forget the sex. It is, in my opinion, just a raunchier, more poorly written Netflix rom-com. And if you're into that kind of thing, if you like these storylines where girls are falling in love, there's romance, and then you get the sex, then I think you're going to enjoy it, and that's okay. But for me, someone that looked at this as more of a comedic film where the comedy fell completely flat, unfortunately, it just didn't work. So before I give you guys my score, thanks for watching this review. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you a fan of American Pie? I am going a 25% for American Pie Girls Rules, and I think it is really salvaged by these four lead performances. They are charming, and I like them as actresses. I really do. I want to see more of them just in different roles because this script didn't quite do it. Appreciate you guys for watching big time. Stay tuned. Earlier today, Hubie Halloween. Check out those reviews. See you later.